Adebayo, first player to block a potential game-tying or go-ahead dunk in the final minute of a playoff game since play-by-play stats in 96-97. You and I had a conversation just about the series in general, where it feels like no one's going to let the other get away from them. Neither team has any fear. They got guys that are going to rise to meet the moment. Bam rises to meet this moment in a way that you heard what I just said. You know,
yeah, no, I'm with you.
What do
man.
you got for me here?
I'm with you. A lot of people are going to bring up the LeBron block in the finals, obviously, and the magnitude of that, the championship, the Cleveland, right? But it's different. He ran him down from behind, and Iggy never got above the rim. This is Jayson Tatum cuffing the ball, and he right now is the most shocked guy on earth that Bam actually caught this. And a couple of things happened on this play that allowed it really to happen. And Miami's in a little bit of a zone here to start. You can see they're just going to zone up, and they're going to switch everything on the perimeter, and you get 2 or 3 switch here. This is interesting here because look at Bam right now. He's rushing out here because he thinks Marcus Smart might be coming to set a screen, and if that's the case, Tatum comes off. Bam knows he has to be up. It's interesting to think, what would this play have looked like if Jayson Tatum actually made that decision? Instead, I know what he wants. He wants to operate from the middle of the floor, and from about the time he turns the corner right here, Bam now is locked in right here. He has no regard for the guy he's guarding right now, which is Marcus Smart, because he knows his teammate is going to take first pass on that side of the floor. So now it's a matter of, can he time it right? Here's what's beautiful about this. You mentioned it, Scott. It's the left hand. If he goes with his right hand, which a lot of right-handed players will in that situation, he has to rotate his shoulder around. He cannot avoid hitting Jayson Tatum with his chest. It's impossible. He has one chance to make that play. It's with his left hand, and he has to time it right. And when you watch the replay of that from above the rim and watch the angle at which his wrist bent backwards, Jayson Tatum put a lot of force on that thing, and it almost gave. And that ball's going to go through that hoop, and Boston's going to win a game. And instead, he makes, and we both said it right away. We rated to each other, watching that, and said, that's one of the best defensive plays I've ever seen, period.
Yep.
Particularly with the circumstances. I think you're right. I think there's going to be 6 or 7 of these one-possession games between these two teams because they are mirror images of each other in terms of their style and the amount of shooting they have to get back in games if they do fall down.
And in these games, you're going to have to try to hold off the run when it comes. And Boston built the lead, but then they were unable to hold off that run. What did they do that allowed Miami to get back into this?
It's funny because I thought my touchscreen was going to go in one direction at one point about Boston's ball movement. It was sensational for most of the game.
Yeah.
They made every right read, and then they get to the end of the game and they decide they want to play a lot of ISO basketball. And it was interesting because they ran a lot of that with Kemba, who wasn't even a guy feeling it very much. And you take a look at this one right here. I mean, they dribble 16, 18 seconds off the clock, and nobody moves, and you end up with Kemba going into the lane against a much bigger defender. And then this is the one at the end of regulation. And I know this is how teams settle games now. I just don't like it. That's a fadeaway 28, 29-foot shot by Jayson Tatum, and I know he's capable of making it. But put that guy in a two-man game and make somebody make a decision defensively.
Do you think Stevens would have called for that ISO if they were still down one? Because I don't.
No,
I think they would have attacked the rim.
I completely agree. The foul that Marcus Smart drew to get them to tied changed the entire dynamic of what they were going to do right there. They would have gone quicker. They would have had a two-man game involved, and they probably would have tried to get an offensive rebound.
Play.
It's amazing. So instead, now it's tied. Okay, now worst case, we go to overtime. That's the way coaches think.
I get that.
I'm a little different in my mentality. I want to run something to make two defenders have to communicate in that situation because mistakes get made the more you make them communicate.
Or Bam Adebayo meets it at the rim and he turns it away, as we saw on the end. Sam, as always, appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.